Hi, I'm Allison.
I'm Jamie from The Kills.
And you're watching Records in My Life on northerntransmission.com. Records that we love. First record.
First record?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Any record.
I've been listening a lot this morning, over and over again, to Black Dots by Bad Brains, which is phenomenal in its energy. And in the fact, I just think it's really wonderful that something was recorded in basically a squat, with each member of the band in a different room, fed down by wires into a 4-track cassette machine, and that it was recorded in the early 80s, and like, God knows how many decades later, it still makes me jump up and down, and it just puts paid to the idea that you need things to make something kind of musically important or culturally important. And that Bad Brains record is phenomenal. Like, a song that I play so much from it is it's called The Man Won't Annoy Ya. And it's kind of a weird situation for Bad Brains. They were in a very kind of white, hardcore, DC hardcore scene. And they were like black guys in a hardcore band. And it was just that immediately is just kind of sets everything off kilter. And they had an approach and a feel that was really phenomenal. And that's the song The Man Won't Annoy You is them sort of going to their, I guess, dub reggae Jamaican roots and playing this beautiful dry reggae tune with the most incredible bass line. Yeah, I was dying listening to that.
Maybe from there we can go to PJ Harvey's 4-track demos.
Oh yeah.
Another record that sounds so great and has held up over time and was still recorded on 4 tracks.
Totally recorded on 4-track, and again it shows that you don't need a studio to make something phenomenal, and you don't need a band. It's just there's that song, or you don't need 4/4 rhythm or anything. There's that song Reeling that she does on 4-track demos. It's just like dun, dun, I wanna bathe in milk, eat grapes, Robert De Niro sit on my face. It's just like And then she recorded it, I think, on Rid of Me, like with a full band, and it just doesn't have the same thing. Not that it's not a great song on Rid of Me, but the demos just shows you can actually capture sweat and fear and excitement and love and pain. You can actually capture it on tape, and I think that's important. You can talk about Red Medicine.
Well, we could talk about all the Fugazi records that are all my favorite records. Red Medicine is one that Jamie and I both love so much, and it's probably my favorite. I don't have any stories to tell about it.
No.
People should know that record. Everyone should know about that record
it's
already.
It's known as the least favourite of Fugazi fans, which makes me feel even more of a fan. It's like that's...
Is it?
Yeah, Fugazi, oh my God, Repeater, isn't that amazing, Waiting Room, And I go like, I like Red Medicine. And they're like, dude, that was like their art record. This record to me is one of the things that really jumped out at me recently. And I know people will go like, but it's Rihanna and her last record, Anti or Anti, however you say it, depending on what part of the world you're in. We say anti.
I say anti.
Anti. They say anti, the Americans. Maybe the Canadians do as well. But just to distinguish it from...
Because auntie is like your aunt.
Auntie and uncle, yeah. Okay.
Maybe that's...
Yeah. I think it's I think that record is really startling. And there's a song, the first song on there, Consideration. It's almost like a journey through everything I love. Like, anyone that knows The Kills knows that I love drum machines. And it's got this really awkward, stumbling drum machine at the start of it. It sounds like it's off like Goblin by Tyler the Creator or something like that. It's but really kind of spazzed out, like Pusha T would make it. And then she comes in with this beautiful dance hall vocal, like sort of ragga dance hall thing. And then it just goes off on this, just glorious. It goes off on this journey of like almost like psychedelia, and gets really pensive, and it's just almost like a journey through everything I love. You know, drum machines obviously close to my heart. Ragga and dancehall. I'm a massive fan of Lee Scratch Perry and King Jammy and King Tubby, and you can hear all that on this record. I think it's phenomenal. And then you've got a song like Desperados, which is on the same record. It sounds like it could be a cover of a Charlie Patton song or Howlin' Wolf or something. It's just beautiful, kind of blues standard, but with a bit of Barbados in there. Just throws the whole thing. I love that record. I think I know a lot of people will say things like, I like Britney Spears as a kind of post-irony kind of thing. But Rihanna, this record is different. You've got to check it out. If you don't like it, then you don't like music.
No, I don't remember names of anything. I know you're having a little workout over there. It's fine. I will talk about Iggy Pop's Post-Pop Depression album, which I love so very much. I was listening to in my car a lot before this tour started. We got a chance to see them do their full set in Paris for a television show, and it might have been the greatest gig I've seen in I can't even tell you how many years. It was so exciting. It was so vital. It was so inspiring, and that record really came to life. I mean, I love that record, but seeing them do it live, it was just. I feel bad for anyone who didn't get to see that show.
Yeah.
We almost didn't get to see that show, but.
Yeah, it kind of.
This is days after his 69th birthday, and he's crowd surfing in the first song. And I was like, I can never, ever complain about being tired,
if you're in the music game and you start your set with a song that you wrote and that song is Lust for Life, then, like, that's it. That's just it, right? And then to keep following it up with stuff like, what? It was just ridiculous. In fact, I said to my friend Scott, I was like, I felt like he came up to me and said, I feel embarrassed to say it, but it felt like that might have been the best gig I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, I didn't want to say that either, but that's how I felt. It felt like life changing.
It was life changing.
And there was a sort of tinge of sadness about it, because the way he's performing it does seem a little like maybe it's his swan song. Who knows? I know a lot of people have been talking in that way about it. But even if it isn't, it makes you realise that punk, whatever you want to call it, isn't something that you can just do. It's in some people's blood, and when that generation dies out, it's dead. It's gone. And he might be the last survivor. You know, we can all appropriate punk, but there's no doubt about it. He's it. He is absolutely it. There I go talking again.
That's why I hired you to be here today.
What?
That's why I hired you to be here today.
Thank you. What's that?
One last record. What's a record maybe you guys bonded on early on? Was that a boring question?
No, Safe as Milk, Captain Beefheart was one. Yeah, which was kind of he never really liked that record, did he? It was his first record, and he felt like it set him up to be the Beefheart that everyone knows, a kind of obstreperous, difficult to listen to Beefheart, because he felt like he'd sort of thrown all his chips out in one go in the like pandering to commercial major record label, and made something palatable, which is bizarre to think Safe as Milk can be considered palatable. You know, it's a fantastic record, and he's got that, you know, like, I got too much time, things like that. Isn't that on that record? Yeah, and glad about the good times. You know, you can hear that he's trying to be sort of soulful, like and compete with all these other artists. But then there's just crazy shit on there that you just can't, you know, there's no way that like, you know, it's just like, and then John French's drumming is so never going to cross over into the mainstream. It's a fantastic record. And I remember playing that to Alison for the first time, and she was like, "Wow!"
It was very exciting.
Yeah, and from that we for that very reason we did a cover on our first ever recording. Actually, we covered Dropout Boogie, Dropout Boogie, which is which I nicked the drums, never cleared them. Nicked the drums from a Sonic Youth record, right, which they'd sampled from some Beatles rehearsal tape from which they probably hadn't cleared either. So, yeah, that's it.